Today at the bodega, this little figure is getting a makeover. I've never watched this anime before, but this is a SH Figuarts figure. Whoever she is, she definitely has a striking resemblance to Barret's daughter, Marlene. The plan going in is to get rid of these little party hats, paint her hair brown, and all that's left after that is to paint her dress pink and her bow yellow. Shouldn't be too hard. I bought this figure because not only does she already resemble Marlene's character model, but her height and look fit the style of the Bring Arts figures so well. Man, she's tiny. Originally, I was going to cut these off, but I think it may be better to heat them up and try to pull them out. I don't have experience doing this, so if I mess up, I can always tell people.
It's my first day!
But look at that. They fit so well together, and since we probably won't be getting a proper Marlene figure, this may just be the way.
This is the way.
Man, I can't front. That just looks good. So the first step is to give the figure a scrubbing with soapy water. This gets rid of any residual oils that may still be on the figure. Once it was all dried, I pried the face off of the hair so it doesn't get ruined in the customizing process. After I get rid of the little horns, I may just leave the insides the same. I don't want the paint to gunk up the way the hair attaches, but we'll see. When it comes time to paint her dress, what really worries me is getting to her arms. Joints are notorious for not taking paint, so that'll be a challenge. As you use a heat gun, always remember not to use your fingers to hold whatever you're heating up. This horn peeled off better than I thought it would. Time for the other side. Comes right off. Everything went pretty well. I honestly wasn't expecting it to be this effortless a task. While there is a bit of a scuff there, the hole itself won't be too hard to fill flush against her existing hair. As for her eyes, they're gonna stay the same. I know my limits as an artist. If anyone asks, she has mako poisoning.
Perfect sense.
To fill those holes, I'll be using some milliput. This stuff is a two-part epoxy putty that activates when you mix it in equal parts and hardens like a rock. Cut a little bit off, mix it together, and this putty is ready to go. I fill in the holes and then use a wet Q-tip to smooth them out, making sure they're nice and flush, free of any fingerprints. After it dried, I noticed parts of the putty were a bit more rounded. To get it even with the rest of the hair, I gave it a little sanding. Before painting, I sprayed everything down with an acrylic coater. This will give the paint a better chance of adhering. For those interested, this is the brand I used. I've heard from other artists that it works well. It did darken the hair a little bit, so if you're using the spray to take the shine out of your figures, be aware of that. Here it won't make a difference because the paint will cover it up. To protect her legs from paint, I used putty, which is giving me meat suit vibes.
The meat!
This hair is gonna get a little dye job. I gotta admit, I like the pink, but that's not Marlene. Once I start in on the back of the hair, I see that the milliput was a good choice. This unfortunately was not.
Yeah.
Once that spill is cleaned, I get back to the gown, and after a few more passes, this slummy summer dress is done. After I was done painting, I decided to seal everything with the acrylic coating again. I started with the hair, but I began to have a problem. It began leaving these speckled marks everywhere. I had to repaint the hair, so I didn't bother sealing the rest of the body. The final challenge was going to be painting these joints to match the dress. I watched videos suggesting sanding the joints, cutting down the excess plastic, and dyeing them. I went with a combination of sanding and dyeing. REPAINTED was the brand everyone was recommending to use, and this petal pink was as close a match to the dress as I could find. There was just one problem. When it came time to use the dye, I realized from the tutorials that I bought the wrong REPAINTED. It was a synthetic kind that was said to work with figures, not the regular kind, so after a little adjustment, it was time to dye. While this is mixing, let's go finish that bow. Using my pinky for stability, I take one of the thinnest brushes I have and begin to paint this yellow ribbon. I left the socks the same because we know she ain't got clean socks. Have you seen the slums? I left the joints in the dye for over 10 minutes and they eventually turned a purplish red. In the end, I just opted to paint the joints, and not for a lack of trying either. I did everything I could to get these things pink. It just would not keep. I used the REPAINTED synthetic, I used the REPAINTED regular, I sanded them, I primed them, I used this sealer, and none of it worked. So you know what? I'm done. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I know this episode was a little bit different. The next one will be similar in its departure from the normal content, but I hope you can learn something from it that you can apply to your own work. Remember, any day is a good day to start crafting. Take care, my friends, and God bless.